Welcome to 6.02. What we're going to do today is a lot of just kind of getting used to terminology and looking at some definitions that we're going to want to make sure we understand well so that we can use them throughout our statistical design. And in general, it's just a good thing to know, because when you are talking to someone about a study that you've done, you want to be able to use terminology that each person will clearly understand. So the things we want to do: identify a parameter of interest and a statistic that could be used to estimate the parameter given a description of a situation. A lot of stuff going on there. I would suggest rereading these after the end of the lesson. It's not going to be very long, and that way you'll understand a little bit better. And identify and generate methods to obtain a random sample from a population. Here are some terms that you will want to go ahead and copy down. So go ahead and pause the video now, copy these down so that you have them for your resources, and then I'll just say a couple things about a few. All right. So what we're going to be doing a lot is looking at situations where we're trying to decide if the group that we have picked is going to be an accurate representation of our population. So what I mean by that is, imagine that you're interested in learning something about high school students. So your population is high school students, but just consider the fact that it's going to be impossible for you to, take apply your treatment to all high school students in the entire world. So you're going to have to get a sample, okay? And obviously, when you are finding a sample, something that we're going to talk about going forward, something called a simple random sample. And I'm sure you can kind of put together the idea of randomization and sample. When I am sampling for my population, I want it to be random. I don't want to be obviously picking, if I'm looking at high school students, only seniors or only freshmen or only boys or only girls or only students that, like to sit on the left side of the cafeteria, so on and so forth. So things to go forward with. Okay, once you have these all down, there's a question that I want you guys to think about to kind of get you started with looking at some of these different definitions, and then on Monday we're going to really get into looking at more detailed situations and coming up with methods for designing a statistical study. Alright, so the local school board wants to get parents to evaluate teachers. They select 100 parents and find that 89% approve of their child's teacher. For this scenario, identify the population, the sample, and the parameter of interest. So what I'm going to look for is that you have these three, and I want you to explain how you know for each one. So how do you know the population is the population, the sample is the sample, and the parameter of interest. And that's it. So make sure you have this question written down and answered. For today, you don't have to post a comment to the video, because I know it's a pretty short lesson, but if you do have questions, make sure you write them down so we can address them first thing on Monday.